I'm going to give you an overview of editing reports in Standard Time. So let's start with the Reports menu at the top. If you're going to customize a report in Standard Time, you'll probably want to start it with one of these categories. I'll go ahead and click on Time Logs and then choose List by Employee. Up pops a report that shows you a little bit of information. You'll notice that this is auto-filtered. If you want to filter by specific information like date range or user or project, you can do that on the left-hand side, but that is not saved in a custom report. So filtering still needs to occur even on custom reports. If you want to customize a report by adding new fields or grouping or variables, you can go to the Design tab, and in here you'll notice several objects that draw your attention, including this Report Design Tools, which allows you to drag and drop onto the report things like fields, variables, special objects, and then creating new sections within the report. You'll notice first of all a block at the top. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. That is the very top level report property. You notice there's a path, the location where the report is saved. If this is a custom report, you'll notice it's saved in the database itself. You have a title, subtitle, some page settings, and then some database scripting and joins. This does draw your attention first of all to the database objects in here, and you might consider bringing in an IT person who has familiarity with databases and their layout and structure to help customize a report, because this is a very advanced database intensive task. The next thing you'll notice are these wide gray bars, and you'll notice some text. So as I click on the text, over on the right hand side you see the properties for this from the tasks table and the start time column. Some of these properties just affect the location and appearance of the text on the screen. So if you go to the preview, you notice the text that's shown here. That is coming from these database objects that I'm clicking on, and you can see the properties on the right hand side. Now back to these wide gray bars. The first one that is the report header. These are sections or groups within the report that you can drag either fields or variables or special objects onto so that they display on the report. So you see some things going on here in the report header. There's a report footer down at the bottom. Next, there's a page header. Again, you can place text or fields at the top of every page. And then, of course, there is a page footer to place things at the bottom of every page. This particular report has a grouping by user. You can see users, which is the database table, and then user, which is the database column. So it is grouping by user. You may have other groups on your reports like project, subproject, task, client, other things that you want to group by. The properties for that grouping is done here in this right-hand panel. The very middle group or section is called the detail. This is where the actual values that you see here are printed on the report. So again, you go back to the preview. These rows are printed from the detail section. So you have a detail header and a detail footer, which are really the same section, but there's properties for each one of those. So as you click on those, you can adjust the properties there on the right-hand side. You may also notice other things like variables. So if you look at the properties here, you can see that this is a variable. A variable allows you to compute a mathematical value or set a piece of text through scripting. And that is done, again, through these report groups section. So if you click the little pencil, up pops a script box where you can write C# code or script. And so each one of these little sections will have its own scripting, including even the detail section that you can edit the script, usually for the purpose of creating those variables, which you then see in the report design tools and are able to drag and drop onto the report. Again, when you're done editing, you probably should go back to this block here, go up to the menu, browse over, and then save that report. So every time you make a change, go ahead and save it. This also, again, gives you the opportunity to rename, delete, or download the RPX configuration for that if you wanted to use it on the Standard Time Windows Edition. There you go, a little bit of an overview on editing Standard Time reports.